Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and Remette Knives, man, they are always impressing me. They originally started out doing, innovative knives, that are unique and something different about them from everybody else, including this one. And it seems like everything I touch from them has something unique about it, typically. And this one's actually pretty cool how this goes. We're gonna check it out here in 1 second, but just looking at the profile of this, it has a nice futuristic look. Oh, and by the way, at the time when I'm filming this, there's only like 19 of these left. 9 in this version, and then I think 10 in the other version. So if you're wanting to get one, you should probably get it pretty quick before it sells out. But I don't know when they're going to restock. But anyways, you have a beautiful, very plain, no hardware scale and clip and backspacer on both, or obviously on both sides, with this micro milling that's nice and aggressive in a good way, and it has this black coating over it that really looks nice. It's a nice little accent having that machined in there, and there is a transition. If you look, you can see it right there. So there's a transition where this is all the same flatness, and this is kind of raised up, but then this is lowered right there, which is pretty cool. Nice little touch. Titanium backspacer, titanium mill pocket clip. That's a little spot for a tritium insert, and then it is running M390 steel on this very thin and slicey sheep's foot blade. The whole thing feels nice and slim in the hand. To me, this is a great size pocket knife because it's not a big knife. I would even argue to say you could say it's a full-size knife, but to me, this is a little smaller than a full size. This would be more in the compact realm. I can get a full grip, which is great because, for being a compact knife, that's awesome. And it is very comfortable. Like I said, nice and slim, lightweight. Then we have this very thin, I forget what blade length this is. It feels like about a 3.2 inch blade. But not 100%, I'll probably write it up on the screen, but it is nice and slicey, has this blasted finish, and if you look, it has this little mirror stripe down the blade, which is a nice little touch, and then you see this is a ridge that goes up and around. So you see how this part right here is thinner than this part right here, and that is for your reverse flick. So you can use the hole and the ledge. So it's kind of a little bit of a mixture of both. And it actually works really well the way that works out for you. Your thumb flick is really good. Your reverse flick's amazing. Both of them are super snappy. The detent, nice clicky detent. Then you have the front flipper, which does work very, very well. Now, I will say, I wish it had sharper jimping on the front flipper, but as you can see, it's not slowing me down at all. So it does work really well. Access to the lock bar, amazing. I love, 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 love to see that. That is so important to me, and I'm so glad that they did it this much, especially with something slim like this. I would hate to fight to get in there to that lock bar. And I'm also glad that they cut this, the front face right here back, because it just allows you to really get to that lock bar so easily. So yeah, very good work, man. Shout out to Remette, man. They are killing it right now, man. Seems like everything they put out is just banger after banger. It's almost like they can't miss. And them being such a new company, that's pretty shocking. Typically, at least from what my experience, a lot of companies come out slow. Like they come out making stuff, but they slowly progress into great stuff. These guys started out doing really good stuff. The backspacer kind of looks like this is how you take it apart, doesn't it? But it's not. So this is the unique thing. Let's talk about the unique thing. I should have got to this already. So what you do is you take the scales and you push up, just like that. And that drops them off. If you look, it's just like a picture frame, the way you hang a picture frame. And if you look, you have a little liner right there. What the heck does that even do? I don't think it does anything. I think it's just creating tension, but it's creating tension so that it's pushing out while this thing is pushed in. So it makes it to where it's not gonna pop out from action or you using it or anything, but you can easily snap it up And you do got to give it, you know, a nice little thump. You know, you make sure you push it in hard, and what you're doing is you're pushing past this and then pushing it up. And yeah, works really, really well. And then right there, now you can get to all the screws and everything. You can get to the pivot, you can get to this, take this off, and, you know, get to this side. So it actually, man, you know what's really cool? It actually feels really good without that scale on there. It really does, because now maybe it's just me because I love having an insane amount of lock bar access, but that is so satisfying to me. I could totally use it like this for sure. That's kind of cool. Nice little touch, and I could run around with it just like this because, you know, the clip's on the other side if I want to. Obviously, you know, I'd probably just have the scale on there. Doesn't seem like anything would hurt me, so that's cool. So if the scale ever did pop off on you, it's, you know, it's not going to hurt you or anything. That's really cool. Now, before we get into the negatives, you know, I want to say, well, one, look at that drop. Nice and smooth on the drop. You can tell it's riding on ceramic bearings. The size of it works really well for fidget factor. And, you know, I like that I can choke up right tight to that edge. The pinch grips are going to be amazing for this thing. You know, slicing any direction for me is important. I want a knife to be useful first. First and foremost, I want it to be useful. Of course, it must be attractive. It must look good. It must have the little details and the materials. But first and foremost, I want it because it doesn't matter if it has all those things, yet it sucks to use. And I've ran into this where I would buy things based on it looking cool. And, you know, and technically the way they would look should have been functional. But because of geometry, because of maybe the ergos mixed with the geometry, it just didn't work out. Now, let's talk about some negatives on this guy. So one negative is, like I said, I wish the front flipper had sharper jimping. Remette, take this note down right now, sharper jimping. You don't want to be able to slide your finger back and forth like this. You want it to stop you. You want it nice and sharp, nice and aggressive, which basically makes it to where when your finger's up here and you're like right there, see I'm slipping, I wouldn't have slipped if it was catchy. Now, like I said, this one works great. I'm not complaining about how it works. I just would prefer sharper jimping. And in return, it would help right here too. So, you know, this isn't going to do anything for me. I'm just going to slide right past it. I mean, there's a little texture there, but it's not, you know, it's not super grippy. Next thing is sharpening tool and plunge grind. I wish that this was a way bigger cutout all the way around to there, because this is a tapering plunge grind. So the plunge grind starts here and it ends basically at the edge. So when I sharpen this, I will get a smile. If not the first time, for sure on the second sharpening, but most likely on the first one, especially since I lower back my edge angle. But if they cut this out from here forward to there, you'd have a ton of life to sharpen off. And then the next thing would be true as well, which is my third negative, and that is the stop pin placement. The stop pin placement's right there. Now, no, I don't think I'm going to sharpen that much into there. That's not my worry. My worry is that I'm going to sharpen into here, and I'm going to create a big smile, and then I'm going to want to add my own choil. And when I add my own choil, that's where I'm worried that I will grind all the way to, let me put a line there, to that line. Oh, can you see it? Right there. Yeah, so it is right on the ledge. So it's literally right there. So you know, this is right where the choil would go. Now, what I could do is maybe add one from here forward, you know, like right there like that, and just leave this alone. But, you know, you'd have to be really careful. Now, you could just not care and just deal with a smile, which is fine. That's what most people do. That's what a lot of people do. That's what I've done with a lot of knives. Of course, I've added my own sharpening notches, which is always great. You know, I'm usually a lot more satisfied after I do that because it does help you with sharpening too. It keeps clearance away, so you're not lifting up on the stone when you're going to sharpen. There's just so many benefits to it. Now, that's the only other negative I have. I have one other negative, and that is the clip. The clip works. I don't want to make it seem like it doesn't, because it does work, and it works decent. But there is a little bit of a kick going into the pocket and out. It's a little bit tight. I wish I had a little bit more spring to it. I don't know if it just needs to be thinner right here or if it should be a little bit longer, but one of the two I wish would have happened, because that way it would be smoother in and out of the pocket. It's not a deal breaker whatsoever. It's not that bad, but it definitely would improve it and just make it that much better that much better as, a pocket tool. In my regular thick jeans, like Levi jeans, it's not really bad, but when I get to my super thick jeans, that's when, it's a little bit more difficult. And, there's that pop going in and out of the pocket, which does, eventually wear on your jeans, even if it is very little each time. Over time, especially if you're going to carry something every day and take it in and out of your pocket multiple times a day. And if you're somebody who fidgets with your knife, you're probably going to take it out a lot during the day. But anyways, yeah, let me check the lockup. Rock solid lockup. No failure. Rock solid left and right and up and down. All in all, man, I like it. I like it a lot, actually. This one's actually really cool to me. This is definitely something that, like, if you're liking the look of it, I 100% would, check it off as an option to get. Man, this little bit of texturing right there is kind of cool too, like for the pinch grip. But this sheep's foot blade, it's a known blade shape to work. It's a utility style blade shape. Then you don't have a ton of belly, so you're less likely to slip out of a cut, but you still have a little bit of belly, enough to cut down on a flat surface, without, having to hit your fingers. So very functional blade shape, coupled with a very functional pinch grip handle that also works, in all directions, which is nice. So yeah, man, Remette, you guys are killing it. You guys are doing awesome, awesome work. And I'm always excited to see what they have coming next. So I'm excited to see 2025 for Remette Knives, but there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.